Okay. Normally it counts down for me and lets me know when it's sharing, but I guess not. So, hi. I'm a little out of breath. I'm a little tired today. Notes for 1-4. This is algebra notes. Evaluating algebraic expressions. Evaluate means to substitute, given values for variables. Substitute given values for variables. Then find the result using order of operations. So just like we were using in our last lesson, those order of operations, that GEMS acronym, now we're just adding another little piece to it, this evaluating piece, where you're going to substitute in the given value for the variable. So looking at our first example. Now, remember, when I do this, I've been telling you since 7th grade, when you do this, you need to start by first replacing every variable with that empty set of parentheses. They're much more complicated now in algebra than they were in 7th grade, so you really need to have those parentheses. So let's take a look at the first example here. So again, first thing I'm doing, I'm just rewriting this expression exactly as it is. However, everywhere I see an x, instead of putting x, I'm putting an empty set of parentheses. Now I can go ahead and fill in -4 for x. And at this point, you can jump right to your calculator, actually, and plug this into your calculator, but make sure you plug it in exactly as is. So let's take a look. You should have watched the video on Google Classroom about fractions in the calculator. So fractions need to be in parentheses. 1 divided by 2, so 1/2. I've got another set of parentheses for my -4 squared minus 2 parentheses, -4, close parentheses, and I gotta move this down, -3. Okay, so you'll see I typed that in exactly how it is. And go ahead and hit enter. And I'm getting 13. So we have 13 on the top and -4 on the bottom. And again, I'm just going to go through that really quick by hand to prove to you that it is really 13. 4 squared is 16, or sorry, -4 squared is still positive 16. Half of 16 would be 8. -2 times -4 turns into a positive 8. Carry down the -3. 8 plus 8 is 16. -3 is that 13 that the calculator gave us. So you could be doing it by hand if you don't have a calculator, but you could also be plugging it right into the calculator. So maybe you took one last step and did 13 divided by -4. Enter, you're getting -3.25 as an answer, and we can math frac that because we like fractions, -13/4, or -3 or -3.25. Either one of those answers would be acceptable. Notice how what I didn't do here is I didn't try to put the whole entire giant fraction into the calculator. When you're using the calculator, you want to break it up into smaller chunks. So let's make a little thingamajig about that. When using the calc, you just got to break it up into smaller chunks. The calculator is your friend and you want to use it. All right, example 2, a little bit more complicated here. Again, the first thing I'm starting with, just like I did in the last example, is everywhere I see an x, there we go. Everywhere I see an x, I'm replacing that with an empty set of parentheses. Notice how when I'm dealing with the exponents, that my exponent is staying on the outside of those parentheses, not going on the inside. That makes a difference. X plus 4. Okay. Now, everywhere in for x, I'm putting -6. All right, so I'll do a little work by hand, and then I'll show you it in the calculator just like last time. So -6, starting that order of operations, gems those exponents first because there's no groupings. -6 squared is a positive 36. Those two pieces cancel out to become a plus. Those two negatives. And on the bottom, -6 plus 4 is just -2. So now 36 times 3 is 108. Again, calculator. So we have a -108 plus 6 plus 2, all divided by -2, which really just simplifies down to -100 divided by -2, which is a positive 50. So just like I promised, I am going to show you how I would plug this into the calculator. So let's clear this out, and here we go. Move that out of the way. All right, so my -3, remember that you want to be using the negative sign for the negatives and not the subtraction. Parentheses, -6, close parentheses, squared. You could also be using the caret and then 2 for squared. Minus -6 plus 2 minus -6 plus 2. And enter. There I am, getting that -100 that I ended up with. Divide by the -2 gives me that final answer of 50, just like we got doing it by hand. So now you know. All right, so that was it. Those are our 2 examples. Make sure you're using those parentheses when you are substituting in. Good luck, try the homework.